Hi, welcome to Remade in California. I'm career coach Pat Pattison. This is a show about reinvention, inspiration, and transformation. Tools you can use if you're launching a new career or business or simply reinventing yourself. Our expert guests help us explore new ideas, educational programs, and job resources available to you right here in California. Have you ever worked with somebody who was toxic? Today we're going to talk about what to do when you have a toxic relationship in the workplace. During this show, we'll have former human resources executive from Mattel, Charlotte Booth. She'll share what she knows from an HR perspective. Also, this half hour, we'll be talking with labor law attorney Michelle Lee Flores on everything you need to know on the hot button issue of toxic behavior in the workplace. She'll let us know if it's as simple as right or wrong. Up first, I'm here with Los Angeles therapist and life coach Dr. Wendy O'Connor to help us define what a toxic relationship is in the workplace. So Wendy, what are the red flags of toxic behavior?
Well, toxic behavior is not always so easy to see, but if you pay attention, you can notice that the boundaries start to get a little blurred, that somebody might be standing physically close to you a little bit more or touching you in a little bit more of an intimate way. They might, harass you, so they might write you emails and then text you and then call you. They would be hanging around and really not doing their work. They would be really invading your privacy, and they might be stalking you, so they might wait for you before work. They might see you at lunchtime and happen to be at the same coffee restaurant, and they might wait for you at your car afterwards. They could do really subtle things like threatening through emails. The wonderful thing about technology is everything can be tracked now and documented.
So there's people on the job we just don't like. What makes that different from an actual toxic situation?
Everyone will have a job at some time in their life where they're not thrilled about the person or the task, and that's not toxic. I don't like it, I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm going to do it. And it might even be someone we really don't like. But is it toxic? So the toxic person really invades your life, and they can make you feel intimidated. They can make you feel traumatized. They really affect your level of functioning.
And the flip side of that coin might be somebody that is paranoid in a workplace that thinks everybody's out to get them.
Absolutely.
That could be a toxic person, where they see something happening to them in every situation.
Be mindful of what's happening in the office and make a note of it, and then just set your firm boundaries. And if that is in any way disturbed, you need to go get some guidance. And even an HR person is wonderful to just check in with, because you don't know, that person, the toxic person that's creating it, might have a full file of complaints that you don't know about.
So what happens when you're the person that's being accused of being toxic? How do you deal with that?
Well, the first thing is you want to get your ducks in a row, right? So that's what HR is for. And you might want to really document everything that is accused of you. And you might want to also get some, not witnesses, but coworkers or a little bit of support to check it out, and then kind of maybe they can write some statements or a little bit of what they have seen. You want to open your audience up a little bit, so that you want to protect yourself.
So tell me, how a leader, what do they need to do to try to navigate that team?
So one thing is you can ask them individually, how are things going? There's conflict resolution. There's, you can bring a third party in. There's so many different interventions to help.
And some of the employee coaching I do is, I noticed that part of the process is checking in with other people. I mean, is that a way to kind of define a toxic person in your midst? And how do you do that in a confidential manner? That's a tough one.
Yeah, well, if I feel if it's a good leadership, then that won't seem so strange, because you're always checking in with someone to make sure. If my people are happy, then my business is running. And, my job is I want everyone to be supported and feel good and do good work in the world.
How do you avoid conflict with somebody you don't want to work with?
Well, that's a great thing. I think that it's something to be aware of, because really you're talking about coping skills. As we grow up and go into the working world, especially with technology that is a big part of what is happening in the world, you want to be prepared. So you want to, again, know your audience. And then I think you want to do the best that you can. And it's kind of like middle school all over again. You want to avoid the bullies. You want to, don't try so hard to get in with the popular group, and just do the best that you can. And, hopefully you'll get nice feedback. But if it takes you on the wrong path, then I think you need to identify that. And either we can come up with coping strategies to help, or maybe it's just not the right match.
To learn more about Wendy, please visit drwendyo'connor.com. Still to come, who do you report bad behavior to in the workplace? We'll ask former HR executive Charlotte Booth from Mattel. But up next, don't miss my discussion with labor lawyer Michelle Lee Flores about California's laws when it comes to behavior in the workplace.